This too is a good question actually. Actually, it's a pretty good question. So I'll give you guys few clues. Starting from, you need to know this area, we can call this as length. That's your first clue. That will help us in communicating, to be honest. And I'll call this as width. The question is, we have to figure out, find the missing value of either the length of a side or the area of the region. So in this case, we need to figure out this area. This is a generic statement. The question over here is, we need to figure out this area. So area is given by length cross width. So this is going to be important for us. I'll explain why in time. Now, your clue here, main clue would be factors. Case. So pause and think over. For example, factor of 13 is 1 and 13. Factor of 26 is 1, 2, 13 and 26. Factor of 15 is 1, 3, 5 and 15. And factor of, oh, this is unknown. Next clue is use factors and think about possible dimension. Dimension is your length and width of the rooms. Okay, so clearly the length is how much over here? Clearly this is bigger, so this has to be 26, while your width is 1. Then the small structure has to be 1, right? Width has to be 1, this has to be 13. That's how you'll be able to figure out. Can you see that it's matching? What is matching? This and this. So what I just did was, it's called as trial and error. So what I used is trial and error. What trial did I do? I assumed, let me actually go over here. I assumed that since this length looks bigger, I'll take it as 26 and this has to be 1. How did I figure that out? 26 into 1 is 26. I made use of the area formula. Okay, so then along with this, I made use of area formula. Again, guys, all these are puzzles. So you can get it as MCQs or, yeah, mainly I think you can get it as MCQs. Theory also can get, but there's a lot of writing to do and each one will have different way of thinking about this. So if I had taken the other value, that is if I had taken 2 and 13, say this is 13, this will be 2 then. But here we can't have a 2. Why? Because 13 is not a product of 2 and any number. So it had to be 1 and 26. And so this had to be 1 and 13. And since the width is 13 over here, this I'll fix it as 13. But again, it's a problem. See, still I'm doing trial and error. So this can't be 13 because there is no 13 over here. Right? 1, 3, 5 and 15 is there, but there's no 13. So we can't do this. Erased. Then what is the other possibility? Well, 13 we can take it along the width and 1 we can take it over here. This will be 13 into 2. There is a 1 over here and this can be 15. Can you check if this works out? Right? It can. We have 1 and 1. 13 is common for both. So it works out. Again, it might not look that this is 2 and this is 13. 2 is much bigger than 13 over here. But again, this is a puzzle. So yeah, they'll give us things which is confusing. Now finally, area of this unknown region. So we have the width to be 15, length to be 2. This has to be how much? 30. Okay. So let's go on writing the answer. I'll write it neater. So the room 1, let me call this room 1 and room 2 and room 3. We have to have such dimensions so that they match. What matches? The length and the length of room 1 and room 2 has to match, while the width and width of room 1 and room 3 has to match. So we need to get a matching number. That's what I was looking for. So the only matching number between room 1 and room 2 is 1. So this has to be 1. There's no other option. And so the width over here has to be 13. And the width of room 3 can be 13. So all good. Let me use red, I guess. So this is 1. This is 13. And because this is 13, to get 26, this has to be 2. And here, because this is 1, this has to be 15. And finally, we have 15 into 20. This is 30 square centimeter. Okay, that's the only possibility.